Wellesley Testosterone, FindMassMoney.com, Gem Plumbing, and by Golf.
On Boston's home for sports, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Into that first career complete game. And you know he wants it badly right here. Swing and a miss. A complete game for Brian Bale. Red Sox win it 10-2. They ripped off 5 in a row. And they'll look for another sweep tomorrow night.
Oh, this one's all about Bale. Complete game was fantastic. I'm a little cutter there. Gave up a couple runs in the ninth, but still, you're able to give this bullpen a night off. He was fantastic. He's on a roll right now. But, of course, you put up 10. The offense took them a while, but they woke up.
Well, there you have it. Red Sox just keep on rolling. And so do we on the Baseball Hour. In the absence of Tony Maserati, which is the summer experience on the Baseball Hour, we continue. It's Matt McCarthy in for Maz tonight, but we have buried the lead. Felger buried the lead. I will not. Jared Carrabis, I acknowledge you, good sir.
It's good to see you, Matt McCarthy.
How you been?
I'm doing great. I mean, my baseball team's winning baseball games. We're playing good defense again. We're hitting the ball. I know it's the Rockies. I don't care. I know people want to look past the opponent. Never look past your opponent. These are big league ball games that the Red Sox are winning, and they have a chance to win. Is it 6 straight tonight?
Something along those lines,
6
yes.
straight? Little back-to-back sweep action, Matt McCarthy? I'm pretty excited about it.
Well, you should be, because you're presented by Blue Moon Light,
right.
A light and refreshing citrus wheat beer with only 95 calories, brewed with a real tangerine peel for subtle sweetness and a smooth finish. Enjoy Blue Moon Light today. Phone lines open for you, 617-779-0985. So that does lead into the most important question, Jared. Are you buying this? They're on, as you said, an opportunity to win 6 in a row tonight. Competition be damned. That's kind of the sense I'm getting from you. So are you buying this run, yes or no?
I'm buying the run. I don't know how much stock I want to put in it, though. I feel like that's a different question. Right now, yes, they're beating up on bad teams, but if you've been watching the whole season, they weren't even beating up bad teams earlier. Like, they would play these mediocre to subpar baseball teams, and they weren't winning those baseball games. That was the first, 2 months of the season where it was like, oh, the Red Sox are a 500 ball club and this and that, and they've had the easiest schedule of the Major League season so far, so if they're this against mediocrity, what will they be against good teams? So they're taking care of business, which that's what they're supposed to do. I guess the true test will come in the second half when it's like whatever it's the Yankees, the Phillies, and the Cubs, like straight out the gate, something like that. That'll be the true test. But these are the games that you have to win, and they're winning them. And not only are they winning them, they're doing it convincingly. So that's the difference for me.
Yeah, I'm not so sure they've done it all that convincingly. Yes,
these
on
games
paper,
are 500 to nothing.
Yeah,
now.
I know, but I still see a lot of fundamental issues with the Red Sox in these games. I see Cedar Rafaela getting picked off. I see Cedar Rafaela losing the outs twice in the same game. I see Jarren Duran overrunning balls in the outfield. So I get it, I understand it, but I still see signs that they're not a great fundamental baseball team.
They're a dumb team. That they're never going to not be a dumb team. You kind of have to live with the stupidity of this ball club.
But I can't live with the stupidity of it, because I think that's what's going to sink them eventually.
Let me ask you this question. Are they a playoff team?
No, because they're too stupid to be. They are.
They're a game out of a playoff spot.
The competition is awful. And that's the frustrating thing. I don't know if the Red Sox are smart enough to take advantage of it over the course of 162. But you're right, Jared. Are they a playoff team? You almost have to say, well, then, if you're saying the Red Sox aren't a playoff team, tell me who is. And I can't, because the competition sucks. It sucks. But when it comes right down to it, in August and September, when things really matter and there are pressure moments, are the Red Sox going to catch the ball, or are the Red Sox going to, know the rules, or are they going to run the bases correctly? I just haven't seen that thing from them.
Hasn't this season told you that they can do all those things poorly and still win baseball games?
They're 4 games over 500 now, right?
Winning ball club. Game out of a playoff spot. And to your point, the rest of the league kind of sucks. The only team you realistically have to be better than is the Seattle Mariners. Can you do that?
You should be.
Can you do that?
You should be able to do that.
I agree.
I'm just not convinced they can, because I think they're so fundamentally bad. And that's what I want to see change, Jared. That's what will really make me buy in. It's not going to be, a 6-game winning streak against the Nationals and the Rockies. I'm generally not the type of person who comes in and says, well, it's this team, it's that team. It's baseball. I mean, that happens over the course of 162. You're going to run into bad stretches in the calendar. You're going to run into good teams who aren't playing good baseball. Baseball is a marathon, not a sprint. So I try not to overreact to series. I look at the larger sample size. And what I see with this team is a team that just is not fundamentally sound enough to consistently take advantage of bad competition. They have done so over the last week because they have beat the hell out of bad pitching staffs. I haven't seen clean enough baseball from them consistently to really make me buy in.
So I think everything that you just said is correct, but you're leaving out the part where that's still enough to be a playoff team.
It might be.
So if you're going to say we need to throw out the 6-game winning streak.
Yep.
Let's say they sweep tonight. They probably will. They should. Let's look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture right now is that they're, 4 games over 500? Mm-hmm. Let's extrapolate that over the course of a full season. Let's say they finish 6 games over 500.
Playoff team.
That's a playoff team. In this American League, maybe not in the National League, but if you finish the season 6 games over, you are probably a playoff team in the American League. So all the things that you're saying, they're correct. I don't foresee them getting any better. I don't think they're going to get smarter. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're going to make better baseball decisions. I don't think that they're going to run the bases better. I don't think that they're going to field the ball more cleanly. That being said, they can still make the playoffs.
Water finds its level with that thing, though, and right now they're above water. But they're going to go back to 500 because that's what they've been consistently for 6 years, and that's been this team's experience. You get a few games under, you get back up to 500. You get a few games over, you get back to 500. So they're 4 over now as we sit here tonight. They'll be 500 in a week. I mean, after the All-Star break, like that's who this team has been. So I just don't want to overreact to a 6-game sample against the Rockies and against the Nationals.
So what sucks is last year, this is essentially what did them in was the All-Star break. They were 10 games over at the All-Star break, and then they played like ass in the entire second half, and they finished exactly 500. So let's say they finish off the Rockies tonight, and they take 2 out of 3 from Tampa over the weekend to go into the break. You're thinking, man, like we're in a great spot, and then you have that time off, and you sit around. The momentum will fizzle. And then what happens? What do they look like in the second half? Right. Because now they come out of the gate playing really good teams to start the second half. I mean, we've seen them play up to the competition. I mean, they've handed Tarek Skubal his worst loss of the season so far. Like he's in God mode this season. So it's not like they can't beat good teams or good pitching. They mostly just can't get out of their own way for the most part. But all that being said, it's not going to take much to get in. It's really not.
So given that, are you buying, and how much are you buying?
I'm doing a little bit of both. I don't think that you can just go full buy. I think that you're going to have to... Everyone knows the name, or the names, plural, that have been thrown out there. I mean, Aroldis Chapman, people can't wait to trade him so that you can get what he's worth. He's 37 years old, but he has garnered some really important pieces in the past for teams like the Cubs, like the Yankees, like who am I missing here? The Royals.
Yep.
Teams that have traded Aroldis Chapman have historically done really well for themselves.
Yeah, Cole Reagan to the Royals, Gleyber Torres to the Yankees.
Yep, and I mean he's arguably having one of his best, if not his best season of his career right now. So I'm sure that the Red Sox are really struggling with the idea of moving him, because if you are 1 game out of a playoff spot, you have to be looking at it saying, like, is this an all-in year, or is this something where we could get a piece that's going to help us for when Marcel Meyer and Roman Anthony and Christian Campbell, like these guys are certified big league ball players, and we're ready to go for it. They're going to have to make some tough decisions, but I think one of the easier, not easier, but I think one of the ones where I think we can probably locate where they're thinking is the outfield situation.
So I generally hate the idea of buying and selling because I think it sends such a mixed message to your team. It sends a mixed message to your fan base. I actually think it makes sense for this team. But here's what I'm not doing, Jared. If I'm selling a player, if I'm trading Aroldis Chapman, and personally, I'm not trading him, but if I'm trading somebody, I'm getting a big league piece in return back, something that I don't have. I'm not trying to go out and acquire more prospects. I'm done waiting for prospects. We're here. It's time to win. You want to trade Jarren Duran? That's fine. I'm on board with it. I need to get a right-handed hitter in return, somebody who doesn't play the outfield. I need a starting pitcher. I need a bullpen arm. I need something that I don't have if I'm moving on from Jarren Duran. That should be the guiding principle for Craig Breslow at this deadline. You want to trade a piece or two here or there? Fine. Get a big league piece in return. Make this team work better. Make this thing fit better.
Are you with me on the first base situation?
That you would not trade. You don't want to upgrade at first base. You're good with Toro and Romy Gonzalez.
Correct.
I would still kick around the idea of finding another left-handed hitter to play first base.
Who's that guy?
That guy probably isn't out there. But I'm not saying like no, absolutely not. Am I comfortable with it if you improve the rest of the team? Yeah, I probably am. I think you can get away with that if, Abraham Toro's hitting 8th. You know what I mean? If you improve the team elsewhere, I don't think that's your biggest need right now. Your biggest need is going to be pitching.
Yep.
It always is. So
some of that is fixing itself, though. And call me a Red Sox Bobo if you want. I think the Giolito stuff is sustainable.
I do too.
I think the Bayo stuff is sustainable. Yep. I'm not saying he's going to go out there and throw a complete game every single time. That was the Rockies, but he's been great. Recently, he's been on a stretch of we're gonna call it quality starts because they had the suspended game where he came in and it should have continued the streak, but it was considered a relief appearance. But Bayo's been great. I don't know. I really think that if they add an arm in that rotation, that's a solid foursome of guys that can go out and help you win baseball games on any given day. Now I'm kind of looking at the bullpen. And I just don't, and I'm with you, which it kind of scares me that we agree on this.
I know, that's never a good thing when you're on my side of the street, Jared.
It's giving me pause to be on this side of the argument. But
good.
like a Greg Weissert, right? Greg Weissert, the people that want him off the team, they don't understand. Like when Weissert is gassed, it's not that but it's not that he loses velocity, he loses control. So he's still throwing 97. He doesn't know where it's going. He needs a breather. That's not a DFA guy. That's a Phantom IL guy.
But if Greg Weissert is gassed, that's a reflection of what you have around Greg Weissert.
Well,
because he shouldn't be gassed. Because he shouldn't be that guy.
That's the rotation giving you nothing the first 2 months of the season.
No doubt.
It's caught up to him being the guy that's been used more than any other reliever in the game. So yeah, I would love to have some help back there. I know that they've kind of brought in some guys off the scrap heap to try and get some innings out of the bullpen. I think Jordan Hicks is an interesting project. We're not there. Obviously, the other night when you had Chapman in the 8th and you had Hicks in the 9th, that was sort of this closer audition. Didn't go great, but it's one outing. I think you kind of like let that roll and see what you got there.
I'll look at the rest of Jordan Hicks's career and say, I don't know if I feel so good about this. All right, I want to test just how far Jared Carrabis has come over to my side of things.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be real scary for you, Jared, if you and I agree, because you'll finally have realized how right I am about everything Red Sox related.
Yeah.
I have a list of guys that you either need to buy or sell on, and I have a list of guys that I will ask you whether or not their performance is sustainable.
Okay.
And what that means for the Red Sox moving forward. And I see on the phone lines will take care of you. 617-779-0985. Off and running on the baseball hour tonight. Carrabis is here. McCarthy in for Maz.
The Baseball Hour with Tony Maz.
We're going to play a game of sustainable or not sustainable.
Okay.
It sounds like you already think that Brian Bayo and Lucas Giolito's performances are sustainable. I agree with you, which is terrifying. Cedon Rafaela, sustainable or not sustainable?
Can we break it down even more? Are we talking about the offense or like the whole package?
Let's just talk about the bat, because I think we know what he is otherwise.
Okay. What would you say for, I think he's on like a 60-something game run of an OPS plus over 100. Let's simplify it like that. Do I think he can be, do I think he can have an OPS plus of 100 or slightly better? I do.
Yeah.
Do I think he's going to have like a 130 OPS plus? No. But I think if like we're talking 115, that would be excellent. Now we're talking potentially like a 5 to 6 win player. With his defense, if he has an OPS plus of 115, yeah, sign me up for that. I think it's sustainable.
Yeah, I do too. I think he's an above average player in this league. I mean, especially because of the glove. I don't think he's this as a hitter, but I don't think he's a nothing as a hitter. That's what I've come around to on Rafaela. And if he's simply not a nothing as a hitter, that's a good ball player.
I don't think it's a talent issue. I think it's a swing decision issue, and it kind of goes into what you were saying earlier about some of the decisions that he makes as a fielder or a base runner or what have you. If he could just have the education planted into his brain, we're talking like, again, a 6.5 win player. Like that is all-star, perennial all-star caliber.
Whose job is it to educate him?
My manager. But I don't think that I don't think it's from a lack of trying, because we go back to some plays earlier in the season where Cora didn't call him out by name, but he was like, yeah, we don't hit the cutoff. And he's talking about Rafaela. And then after the game, Rafaela's like, yeah, he threw home. He threw straight home, airmailed it, run scored anyway, runner advances to second base, stuff like that. It's not from a lack of the coaching staff being like, hey, man, this is how we do it in the big leagues. It's just a matter of him processing it and agreeing with like the people that are actually trying to teach him how to play big league baseball. I think he'll come around.
Roman Anthony has hit the ball much better lately. Sustainable or not sustainable as a rookie?
You're a baseball savant guy. Yeah. It's very sustainable. There's a lot of red on his baseball savant page. I think, you know what? I might even take a hard left turn here and say it's not sustainable. The singles are not sustainable. These are going to be doubles and homers in about a month. Yeah.
Yeah, he's special.
Yeah.
Here's the big one. Trevor Story.
The offense?
Yeah. Yeah, what Trevor Story has given you.
I mean, this has been since June. He was the worst hitter in baseball in the month of May. He was pretty good in April, abysmal in May, and pretty damn good since the start of June until now. It's somewhere in between.
Nope, you can't give me that. Sustainable or not sustainable?
I'm going to say it's not sustainable.
Thank you.
It's not sustainable, but I think, Maz has been obsessed with Trevor Story being able to catch up to high velocity, and he's been doing that.
He's sitting fastball now.
Yes.
That feels like an adjustment that he's made. Sitting
Correct.
fastball and does not care if he looks bad on a breaking ball.
Which is very interesting.
Because he generally does.
Yes, and I think in earlier seasons with Boston, you would look at the home runs that he would crush. It's weak breaking stuff, leaking over the middle. Like, they're not competitive pitches. Like, they're bad pitches that he's just destroying.
Mistake hitter.
Now, I mean, you got to give him credit that there's something you can point to and say, not only is he doing well, but he's doing well against things that used to be his Achilles heel. So it makes you curious about saying sustainable, but ultimately, it'll be somewhere in between. So I'll say it's not sustainable.
No, it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
He has not been this hitter. This is who he is. He gets hot for a month. He did it in 2022, and he's been even hotter for the last month plus than he was in 2022. But I mean, let's call a spade a spade. This is not who he is.
It's who he was in Colorado.
That was a long time ago, Jared.
It was a long time ago.
And it was in Colorado. And, the breaking balls aren't as big an issue there because they don't break. So for a hitter who can't catch up to velocity, he was truly able to sit on the fastball in Colorado because the breaking balls were not as tough for him to hit because they don't break as much. It makes all the sense in the world, given Trevor Story's limitations at the plate, why he was a Coors Field merchant. It makes sense. So I don't count on this whatsoever. Enjoy it while you have it, and he's batting third tonight, which, by the way, it goes to show how the Red Sox themselves don't think this is sustainable, because theoretically, Trevor Story should have been your 3-hitter for the last month. And I think this is the first time they've batted him third forever. Going back to really the beginning of the season. So I don't even think they think it's sustainable. So given all of that, how does that guide you at the deadline? You're a yes. You do not want to trade Aroldis Chapman.
I would be very reluctant to do that because of what you were talking about earlier, the message that it sends. If you don't have some sort of contingency plan behind Chapman, that sends such an awful message. I will say, Coley made the point about, do you really? I know it sounds crazy, but do you really need them? Because the games that they're winning, the games that they win big. Like, they're not playing the games that are tight, they lose.
But you can't make the playoffs that way.
I understand.
This is the reason I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, because I don't think they're good enough in close games. I don't think they're fundamentally sound enough. They're going to make too many mistakes.
They're making the playoffs.
Chapman's the guy, of all of these rental players, Chapman's the guy I least want to trade, even though he can probably get you the highest return, just because I think trading Aroldis Chapman directly leads to more losing than just about anything. You need somebody at the back end of that bullpen who you trust. If you trade him, you're losing how many more games? 2, 3, 4 down the stretch? Like that. That's the difference I think a closer makes in a playoff race.
Well, that's why you need the contingency plan. Like, who's the guy? Because if it's Jordan Hicks, I don't think that's a good plan.
Jimmy, you've said this. Like, what if you trade Chapman but get somebody else? You're a proponent of this.
100%, yes. If you want to go see if Cleveland will give you their closer, or if there's an expanded deal with the Twins for their closer, and you get a Cole Regan's return or a Gleyber Torres return or somebody who projects as a potential all-star in the future, you trade Chapman. But I'm with Jared. I want them to make the playoffs. I'd prefer you keep Chapman because he's proven he can pitch in the 8th inning against the best part of the lineup and still be successful, or he can close out in the 9th inning if you need him.
So if I'm trading for Duran or if I'm trading for Clase, why am I then trading Aroldis Chapman when those two guys at the back end of a bullpen can truly shut down games, which you're going to have to do to make the playoffs? You both think they're making the playoffs. I want them to make the playoffs, but I wouldn't bet on it.
Chapman's not part of your future, at least as it stands right now, and that's why.
I'm tired of hearing about the future. I want to hear about
their Baseball America ranking is suffering right now because all their prospects are either underachieving in Worcester or they're on the big league club. So you got to replenish the prospect list.
I want to win. I want to win, and I'm not trading Chapman as a result of that.
Yeah, but then there's their bankroll and their business portfolio. So their cash in and cash out has to balance out too.
I don't want to hear about financial flexibility. I've heard all about financial flexibility. They have financial flexibility. They already traded Rafael Devers.
That's going great, by the way.
For San Francisco and for us?
For both parties. I mean, like they've been worse than we've been, which is astonishing. And he still hasn't played first base, by the way.
I want to get into some comments made by your manager about Rafael Devers in a little bit.
Okay.
But I do want to get into the biggest decision they have to make, to me, at the deadline.
Okay.
Jarren Duran.
Yeah.
Buy or sell? And in fairness, let me throw Wilyer Abreu into this discussion because of
there's another big decision, Matt.
What's that?
Bregman.
I don't think they're trading Bregman. I don't think that's happening.
Then I need a contract extension.
They should let it play out. You signed him for 1 year, essentially. Just ride it out for 1 year. I'm doing the exact same thing with Aroldis Chapman. You signed him for 1 year. Why do I need to cash in on every single chip? I want to win baseball games. Alex Bregman's going to help me win baseball games now. Whether or not there's a contract extension, I'm not trading him. Not doing it.
Well, you don't have to
why are you smirking? Why are you smirking?
I don't think you have to worry about that. I would be pretty. I would feel safe. I would feel safe with Alex Bregman staying here. Yeah.
That feels informed.
Staying here for another year, opting in, or staying here long term, Jared?
I feel pretty good about both. Yeah, I feel pretty good about both. It's got a nice little place right outside of town. You know,
is he happy here?
He's very happy here.
They happy with him?
Oh yeah.
Does he get more money for helping the pitching staff?
I don't think Pedroia got paid more for that. You kind of just do that as a as an infielder who gets paid a lot of money by the Boston Red Sox. But yeah, I'd feel pretty good about his long-term future here in Boston. Yeah.
Should I expect any news on that in the coming days?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know that those conversations have. I don't know that they've gone full board yet. Which to me, I interpret that as we're comfortable knowing he wants to be here. He knows we want him here, so we can kind of go to the offseason with that. I would be happy with an extension, before the trade deadline, but I don't think that there's this world where, the trade deadline went by, we have no extension, so we have to go to the offseason now. Like, I don't think that that's the clock.
You tell me, what should I make of the Boris comments a few weeks ago? After the Devers trade and he's open to an extension, what should I make of that?
That he was just there. He's always, I understand like the timing of it was convenient and intriguing, but he's just always at Angels games and he likes to talk in front of a microphone. So the timing to me meant nothing. It's just the Red Sox were in town. Boris is always there. But the comments about, they're open to getting something done. And now, like the posturing of this Bowden report, which I believe Sean McAdam already shot down. He cited like a Red Sox executive said, we're not doing that. But even if the report was out there of if they don't get something done by the trade deadline, that's all posturing. They're not trading Alex Bregman. I'm pretty confident in that.
Are they trading Jarren Duran?
I think that's a strong possibility. But at the same time, you have to, if I'm going to sign off on this, I need to know what the return is. And I'm going to echo something that you said earlier. If Jarren Duran is going out that door, I need someone that's going to be on the big league roster today.
Agreed.
Today. I'm not trading Duran for prospects. Because I understand the thought process is if Duran's not here, then that means Roman is in left, Sedin is in center, and Williers in right, and now we go. So it's like just trading Duran is supposed to free up the roster so that all your outfielders are set at their specific positions. But you're not making the deal for that. You're making the deal to make the team better. And the way that Cora has been managing the lineup and the roster over the last couple weeks here, they're winning baseball games with all four of them. I mean, he's already told you we can have all. I know it's not ideal. I'm sure Duran probably doesn't want to DH, and I'm sure Sedin Rafael is not pumped about being on the bench tonight. But if Cora can make it work and you continue to win baseball games, then who's to say that they can't move forward with Duran still here? I don't think it's we have to move an outfielder to free up these spots.
You want some hardcore baseball talk coming up next? We're going to talk lineups. We're going to talk defensive alignment. We're going to talk logjam.
Yeah,
I have the Red Sox lineup in front of me. And they've got a lot to manage here. Your manager,
that's right,
has a lot to manage. And he's already screwed it up. Quick update from Kevin Majori. Right back with you. You see, now it took Jared and I about 36 minutes to disagree. Yeah. So, you know what? All is right in the world.
Yeah.
All right.
The earth is healing.
Yeah, thank God. And you know what? Thank God for that. It felt very positive for me to end up on Carrabis' side. Like I did. I don't want to build consensus with fanboy Carrabis over here. It's as somebody
super fan.
Somebody at the station would call you. We continue. It's the baseball hour.
Sports.
Jam, which begins tonight, Jared Carrabis. Your Red Sox lineup going for a series sweep of the Rockies. Duran in center, Anthony in left, Story at short, Abreu in right, Narvaez catching. Yoshida returns. He's the DH batting sixth. Romy Gonzalez at first base, Marcelo Meyer at third base, and David Hamilton at second base batting ninth. Cedar Rafaela, the odd man out tonight. Do you agree with that? Do you disagree with that? And how much trouble is Alex Cora going to have on a nightly basis trying to figure this out? And are they forced to trade Duran or Abreu or to make a move between now and July 31st?
When we start with Cedar Rafaela not being in the lineup tonight, I think it's fine to rest him against the Colorado Rockies. You know, he's playing every day. He's playing a premier position. He's running around out there. Like, call it a rest day. It's not like a, hey, you know, we really need to work, you know, Duran and whoever else into the, like, it's less about that and more about, sure, give him a breather. He's been playing every single day. He's been playing amazing, and it's the Rockies, and you've already won the series. I understand you want the sweep, but you have won the series. They should be able to take care of business without him. To Sean's point, I think it's very important to note how he said it does not need to be addressed at this particular trade deadline. But to finish the thought off, just because Duran survives the trade deadline does not mean that he's still long for this organization. Mm-hmm. I think if you were to sort of look at the outfielders, and it's not even, I feel like odd man out is a dig at the player that's on their way out. Jarren Duran's a very good player. Like, he's a very good baseball player. Odd man out doesn't mean you're the suckiest of the bunch. There's a lot of different factors. When you look at Wilyer Abreu, like, can you sit here and say that Wilyer Abreu is definitively a better player than Jarren Duran?
He fits better this roster.
He's cheaper.
Yep.
He's younger. It's the defense. It's the offense. He's got more pop. He has more control. It's those things. That doesn't make him a better player, but it's like, you know, I think when you factor in a lot of those different things, you kind of look at it and say, all right, well, if Duran's the guy, does he have to be moved by July 31st? To Sean's point, I don't think he does.
Are they better off moving him?
Again, tell me what's coming back. Like, I'm not moving Duran for prospects. I'm just not doing it. If you're telling me that, all right, there's some organization like the Phillies, we can get their number 4 and number 8 and number 19 prospects for Jarren Duran. You doing it? Nah, I'm good.
Out. No, I need a big leaguer. I need a big leaguer in return.
Yeah, I need someone that's going to help me today, and I need someone that's going to be on the roster next year and the year after that.
So I do think this is manageable, though, because of Rafaela's versatility and his flexibility. Cedar Rafaela is best in center field. But the problem with this lineup tonight is not Duran in center, Anthony in left, Abreu in right, Yoshida at DH. Nope. The problem, I'm circling it right here, David Hamilton, second base. That's the issue right there. Cedar Rafaela should be playing second base tonight. And this is why they don't have to do anything by July 31st if the trade isn't out there. I've been a proponent of trading Duran going back a year now. I mean, certainly this past offseason, Jared, I think the Red Sox missed a real opportunity to cash in at the height of Duran's value just because you could see this coming down the pike. Roman Anthony is your left fielder of the future, okay? It's not Jarren Duran. He just is. Duran's not a very good outfielder, which I think most of us still understood last year, despite what the metrics said. There are limitations to Duran as a player, but he's worth something. He's a good player, to your point. Odd man out does not mean you suck. Odd man out means you don't fit this roster, and I'm trading you to get something that does fit this roster, something that we don't have, a baseball trade. And the Red Sox missed out on that. So I'm not selling low on him because I can manage this thing, because I can move Rafaela around.
Well, you're not selling high on him either.
Right.
Which is the problem.
But are you going to between now and the end of this season? I think his value's already been diminished. I mean, let's say Duran, goes on a tear and has a good, final couple months of the season. Is his value still where it was last offseason?
No. And he's on one right now. He's on a tear as we speak. But I think what ultimately could happen is whoever you trade him to, if they put him in center field and then he catches fire and everyone's going to be like, oh, man, wish we could have had him here, he wouldn't have been the center fielder on this team. So, I mean, to your point, the left field defense has been an issue all year. He has not looked good as a left fielder. But last year, as a center fielder, he was an MVP candidate. So say the Red Sox do trade Duran to a team that puts him in center field primarily, don't be surprised if he just turns into the guy from last year again.
So if you're a believer in Duran in center field, then put him there every day, right?
Well, I mean, I think that you have the influence of the manager who is saying Ceddanne Rafaela is probably, take all the positions in baseball, he's the best defender in the game. Like, at any position, not just the best center fielder. He's the best defender in the game.
He's a better center fielder than he is an infielder, but he can play the infield, and he's hitting right now to justify it. See, this is why you don't have to do... I'd be more willing to move Rafaela to the infield, given the way he's hitting right now, than perhaps the Red Sox are, because that does get you your best offensive lineup. Your best offensive lineup right now features Duran in center, Anthony in left, Abreu in right, and Rafaela at second base. Now the question is, what do you do when Alex Bregman comes back this weekend? And to me, I don't hate the idea of sending Marcelo Meyer down. If they're committed to the idea of Rafaela playing second base, which I don't think they are.
No chance.
Can't hit lefties. Again, do you want to win? Yes or so? This is the thing, Jared. You want to win, right?
I want to win.
Is your best team right now Duran, Anthony, Abreu, Bregman at third, Rafael at second, Marcelo Meyer in Worcester?
I don't have Rafael at
best
second.
Team?
No, your best team has Rafael in center field.
So then Duran's sitting, or somebody else is sitting. Or somebody's getting traded.
Yeah.
These are the decisions you have to make.
Yeah, or what? I guess if all, I know he would hate this, but I know Yoshida just came back, but I think also like this defensive outfield of Anthony in left, Rafaela in center, and Willier in right, and Duran DHing. Like when he's, I know he doesn't have the on-base percentage this year that's like a sexy leadoff type, but his ability to just be like, bam, here I am standing on third base, game just started, that plays for me. Like if you're not going to put him in center, because clearly you're not going to do that with Rafaela, he's the best defender in the game there, and he sucks in left. Everyone talks about his impact. You're not talking about his defense. You're talking about him hitting. You're talking about his ability to steal bases, to turn a routine base hit to right field into a double, to go first to third, all that stuff. He doesn't have to play defense for that. He's kind of a net negative in left field. So I don't know. The
question is, how sustainable do you think this offensive output is for the Red Sox over the course of the last 10 games or so? Because I'm not convinced it's sustainable, and I'm trying to find the way to get my best offensive nine in there, and that is putting Rafael at second base as of right now.
It's just not the best team. I can't have Rafaela anywhere but center field.
I would agree with you on that, because Rafaela is strongest in center field, and that's why I'm trading Duran. Because I'm getting something that I don't have.
Sure.
But if we're not trading Duran because his value's a little bit lower, that's a way to get them all in the lineup. Who's helping this team more right now? Ceddanne Rafaela or Marcelo Meyer?
Ceddanne Rafaela.
So in the short term, you're better off with Ceddanne Rafaela than Marcelo Meyer. But then you're sending a message by sending Meyer back, and he can't hit lefties and this and that. So
that's with Bregman coming back.
With Bregman coming back.
Yeah.
Decisions.
It's a lot. But Meyer's going to be your second baseman, though.
He will be.
Yeah.
And so, what I'm proposing here, the Red Sox are not going to be interested in doing.
No.
You could also platoon, you could have Rafaela play second base against lefties because they don't want to play Meyer against lefties. Understandably so, because I'm not convinced he can hit them, at least right now.
He didn't hit them well in AAA, so I don't know why people are so upset that he can't do it in the big leagues.
He consistently hasn't hit lefties. He didn't hit lefties in AA.
Right.
If I were to, at least his first crack at AA.
Yeah, I can't imagine that he's going to get better at that at this level.
Real quick, we've neglected the calls all day.
That's all right.
We're up against it. Glenn in New Orleans, you got to be quick.
I think Mayer needs to be in the lineup. He's solid defensively, which is something they desperately need. Bregman comes back, you send Hamilton down.
So I'm all opposed, completely in favor of not seeing David Hamilton anymore. I would agree with that. Dave and Weston. Dave.
Yeah, listen, everything you guys are talking about stats next year, right? Because this is nice fattening up on the worst of the worst Major League Baseball teams. But you go 4 against Tampa, then the break, and then you go Cubs, Phillies, Dodgers, Houston twice, San Diego. By August 15th, this team could probably be out of it.
Jared doesn't believe that.
It's
Playoff team, according to Carrabis.
It is a playoff team. It's like a 3 games over 500 playoff team, but they're a playoff team nonetheless.
I'm glad we ended the show disagreeing. It feels a little bit more normal.
I think we agreed on more than we thought we were going to, though.
Jared's right, as usual.
Thank you. That's my wise man.
Acknowledgement. Jimmy Stewart, thanks as always for your hard work. Carrabis, always fun to be on with you.
This is a pleasure. I want to crash one of your little Friday parties with Milliken.
You should.
Yeah, I think that there's the next Friday where the Red Sox are on the road. I think I'm going to pop in.
I'm sure Maz won't be there, so it'll be you, Milliken, Maz, no Maz, Carrabis. That's a good crew right there.
Yeah, we're
Jared,
due for one.
You're always welcome.
Thank you very much.
Anytime.
It's a pleasure.
Jimmy, thanks for your hard work. Coming up next, more me. Leading into the Revs tonight and Lionel Messi. And believe it or not, I want to talk some soccer with you.
By the way, do you know the breaking news on Messi?
I do not know the breaking news on Messi.
This is Breaking Sports News. Powered by Valvoline